This one might close it out. Here's the pitch. And it's a steal for Ponce to second on a ball a little bit outside. Counts 1-2, 2 outs. Ponce on second. And I tell you what, Will, this stealing game from High Point has been absolutely incredible thus far.
Yeah, the High Point can definitely snag some bags, but Ponce was really the big target in them. And then also look at Lane Allen in looking to steal a bag.
That's strike 3. That'll end the inning. Current score, High Point 3, App State 1, as the cold starts to set in here on top of the mountain. All right, folks, you're listening to 90.5 WASU Sports here at beautiful Beaver Stadium on top of the mountain here in Boone. Scores 3-1, HPU leading. We're at the bottom of the second. We're starting off with pitcher Jack Carey. My GOAT, Silverstein, is gone. I'm devastated, Will. I guess the lock-in of the century wasn't enough. Here's the first pitch, and it's strike swinging. Carey's dangerous, man. We got 1.32 ERA in 13 innings on 7 appearances. This is a big relief man for High Point here as he goes up against Jalen Seward.
As you mentioned, he will be very, very important for this High Point team to try to get them through about 2 innings or so, just so they can save the arm a little bit. But App State, if you're at the plate right now, you're trying to just work this pitch count up as much as possible.
Ooh, big contact on a foul ball high up in the air. Caught for the out. That's out number 1. Absolutely, I think, you know, you're trying to find a way to navigate around this excellent pitcher. But if you're High Point, like you said, you're just wanting to kind of dog around for 2 innings, see if you can keep that 2-run lead. You know, as we said, this game's going to be won in the trenches. So 2-run lead right now, that's huge early in the game.
That was a great play by Justin Ruiz behind the plate to track it down all the way to the High Point bench and make that catch.
And here's senior infielder Jake Muma. Here's the pitch. Little outside for ball 1. Muma batting .200. Another one. Inside the box, but low and outside for strike one. Counts 1-1 with one out. High Point 3, App State 1.
Mumau has only seen 5 at-bats so far.
Nice contact right in the gap, but second baseman's going to get it to first. That's out number 2.
Very, very efficient by Jack Carey, just kind of doing what he needs to against this App State lineup. Got the pop out behind home plate and then got the easy ground out the second. So just kind of rolling through the bottom of this lineup.
I was about to say, you're working through that batting lineup, not necessarily your heavy hitters. We're getting a heavy hitter here with Joseph Zamora. Way outside for ball 1. But, it's a great way to just go ahead and sweep some guys out of the way and get the game moving. Zamora, 1 home run, 301 on the season. And it's another one outside for ball 2. I imagine he's wanting to keep this one away.
And a lot like Frank Kelly, Joseph Zamora acts as App State's second leadoff guy. Because we saw last year Zamora would be that leadoff guy pretty much the whole year. Now he has that speed, he has the bat, he can do everything from the 9-hole to try to start a rally.
And that's ball number 3. Will, I think this might be an intentional walk.
That'd be an interesting intentional walk with Tanky Kubi on deck.
Absolutely. That one's gone right down the middle for strike 1. And boy, I'll eat my hat, I guess. Counts 3-1, 2 outs, 3-1.
The good thing is, though, if they do walk Zamora, who's a switch hitter, they have the lefty-on-lefty matchup in Yakubi.
That's high contact, and that's going to be out number 3 for this inning. There it is. Very, very well played inning for Jack Carey. And I guess that 1.32 ERA isn't going away anytime soon. All right, folks, welcome back to 90.5 WASU here on a beautiful, sunny, chilly Boone evening. The High Point Panthers up 3, the App State Mountaineers 1, with Jack Clark up on deck. And boy, Jack Clark is a heavy hitter, 43 at-bats with a 395 average, OPS over 1. This might be a dangerous way to start this inning.
It's going to be interesting to watch, though, with the lefty-lefty matchup to Ren Watson on how he approaches this, because it's a lot harder to hit lefty-lefty than if it was righty-lefty.
Absolutely. And we're in that nice little in-between moment where the sun starts to set. Here's pitch 2. Another one outside for ball number 2. First pitch outside as well. We're in that nice in-between moment where the sun's starting to set, but the field lights haven't fully taken over yet, and so it's a little dark, a little hard to see. We'll see how it goes, especially contrasted with these stark white Mountaineer uniforms.
And the batter's eye is still fully lit up.
Absolutely. There's pitch number 3. for another ball. Counts 3-0 with no outs. Fans are getting rowdy tonight as the night gets late. And I guess folks are enjoying the pint glasses, huh, Will?
Hey, you got to do anything you can to stay warm.
And that's in for first strike of this at-bat thus far. Counts 3-1. Here's the pitch. And that's hot contact, left field. But it's fouled out, and that'll be strike 2. I'll tell you what, I'm very impressed with how Ren Watson has managed to handle this inning. In his last inning pitching. I think that's a hard situation to step in, and I think he's managed it okay. We got a long night tonight.
In these type of games, you just hope he doesn't really allow any runs and just keeps you in the game. Being down 3-1 is kind of unfortunate, as that is a walk. So it's going to be really on these App State pitchers to keep these batters in the game on such a cold night.
Absolutely, especially with how good these steel games are going, how many bags these guys are grabbing, and then how hot these guys are hitting. You got to make sure that you're not letting yourself get too loose, as Ren Watson is given a mound visit.
Yeah, and this is just a mound visit. This will not be one to take him out of the game. The visit by Heath Blackman just to kind of settle the pitcher down and get him into a groove to where he can kind of work these counts a little better. He's fallen behind the last couple, so you just want to get his head back in the game so he can produce those innings you need.
Absolutely, and I think if this mound visit does anything for him like it did something for Silverstein, we might see Watson win a Cy Young. As Lane Allen, junior infielder, walks up, number 23. And now we're back to lefty versus righty. Here's the pitch. And that's strike 1 right down the middle. This is a great opportunity to go ahead and start working some of those inside breaking balls. So go ahead and try and encourage that weak contact. It's a great way to build those outs up, especially with a man on first and Jack Clark. Clark already creating distance. Watson keeps the eye on him. Here's the pitch. And it's another one right up the middle for strike 2.
Good approach by Watson, too, to attack the outside part of the plate. Allen's not really looking for the outside half, so far the bat stayed on that shoulder. It's going to be interesting to see what approach Watson has here.
Weak contact for the foul. As the shadows start to set in here at beautiful Beaver Stadium. Man, I love those pinstripes on the field, dude.
It is. It's always voted one of college baseball's best stadiums for a reason. Granted, the picture that they usually take is during the fall when the leaves are all pretty right now. Not many leaves on the trees, but still a beautiful place to be.
And there's hot contact. And there's not quite a double play. Clark out at second, but Allen will make the base, I think.
Which is still good. It's good to get that fielder's choice and get that first out. Help your pitcher out a little bit. Try to go for 2. Didn't have enough time, but 1 always helps out Ren Watson.
Great play from Zamora and from Mumau. Wait, no, maybe. I think I've lost myself here. Anyway, there's first pitch against Sojun Oh, junior catcher. And this is much more of a catcher build we see here. That's a ball 1. It's 1-0 with 1 out. And we're right back in the situation we were about 5 minutes ago. Man on first, trying to dig out this at-bat, trying to build these outs. As he goes to steal, and he is safe. Allen is safe at second base. And once again, that high point steal game right back on the prowl for the Panthers. Very dangerous.
That makes Allen 9 for 11 on the season so far. The second best base stealer on the team. So it is expected that he would go early on in the count.
And it's interesting to see Sojano at an at-bat here as the pitch comes in outside for ball 2. It's almost like a bass guitar. This is here to set the rhythm. He's here to get guys moving. Even if he doesn't necessarily blow the ball out, we've already gotten a base gain from this.
It's going to be a little harder than his first at-bat versus Verrazino, though, because it's the lefty-lefty matchup that all lefties dread.
And that's a whiff for strike 2. Crowd starting to get tense tonight. They did not like that steal. And that's hot contact to left field. And I think this one's going to be caught for an out. There it is. And Allen will remain on second.
That's a great job by Ren Watson to work the count and get O to be a little bit late on the swing and just hit it out the left field where the glove of Yakubi was just waiting for it to fall into.
Yeah, and I think, even those big hits tonight, just this air gets so thick. It's nice to see that team really running like clockwork. You can see them all really mesh together at the end of that bat. Allen ready at second. Here's the pitch against Jace Kohler. Jace Kohler and his buddy Sug Jun-Oh did a lot of damage earlier today.
With the runner in scoring position, too, you got to think Kohler's just licking his chops. He did get on via the very weak double that he hit, but nevertheless, a weak double is still a double.
And that's fouled out for strike 1. He counts 1-1 with 2 outs. And I do not envy Ren Watson right now. Here's the pitch. Right down the middle for strike 1 on what looked like a little bit of a breaking ball.
The good thing about Watson, and I've got to see him now 3 years in a row, is that he's very composed and he won't lose that sense of staying to what you have to do. And even if that runner's sitting there dancing at second, he's not going to pay any mind and he's going to try to get the out.
And there's fairly weak contact right to outfield. And that's caught by the right fielder, and that is the end of the top of the inning.
Yeah, Riley Luft just sitting there waiting. 2 very easy pop-outs to end the inning for the Mountaineers, so it should be interesting to see if they can get the bats going in the bottom of the third.
All right, folks, it's a cold evening here on top of the mountain as we go back into High Point versus App State. High Point leading 3-1. And we've got Jack Clark. Nope, Jack Carey. I was right the first time. It's easy to mix up the Jacks. We got Jack Carey back on the mound. This is a dangerous pitcher for tonight. Very efficient half inning earlier against the Mountaineers. No runs allowed. And boy, I'm not excited to see it again.
Should be a fun matchup with the top of this lineup, though, with Yakubi, Evans, and Smith, who all found their way on base via a walk to start the game.
Tank Yakubi, 308 on the season as the ball goes in for ball 1. This is an interesting matchup. You got great hitters versus a great batter. Here's pitch number 2. In for a strike, just a little on the outside of the box. And this is, I think, where Jack Carey starts to go through the gauntlet. It's not easy hitters like he had last time.
I don't think anywhere in this lineup's truly an easy hitter.
Oh, absolutely not.
He's just kind of been a master with the baseball and been able to bend it with ease just however he wants to, and it's really confused this Mountaineers team so far.
Ball goes in outside for ball 2. Counts 2-1. And that's weak contact gone foul. 2-2.
Yakubi was very, very early on that swing and shoots it down the first base line. So got kind of off timing a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see now what Carey goes to, if he goes to the fastball or goes to the breaking ball.
Well, we'll find out right now as here's the pitch for breaking ball. Bounces. Oh my goodness. Missed by 2 infielders. Rolls to the outfield, and Yakubi makes base.
Yeah, and those weak dribblers actually most of the time will be what gets you on base the most, and nothing special there by Yakubi. Just puts it back where it came from, and neither of the middle infielders could get there in time. So it's good to see App State get their first hit of the night.
And it's nice to see these batters, they're stepping up against Jack Carey, who's a very efficient pitcher, who's, like you said earlier, has great manipulation of the baseball. Being willing to be conservative and not go on whiffs and not go chasing the ball and, just stick to fundamentals, swing at what you can hit. It's really done something well. As there's a big hit high in the air, not too much distance, though, as it seems to be caught for the first out of the inning. And Yakubi's right back to first base. That was Charlie Evans, bounced out.
Yeah, and that's a great job by Cush to call off this shortstop, and he had that great run in it because, that's a routine foul ball or fly ball for the left fielder. So great job by Cush just to make the read and get the out.
Now, folks, this is not Ravens legend Steve Smith. This is App State's own Steven Smith, grad student infielder, batting .364 on the season. This is a dangerous player to get here in the middle of the inning. And that's big contact. Bounced in left field. And that's a man on second and a man on first with Yakubi and Smith both on base, 1 out.
Steven Smith saw something standing in the on-deck circle and immediately goes after the first pitch and just puts it where nobody is. So that's a great job by Seven to now put a runner in scoring position with only 1 out for Riley Luft.
And boy, after so much time on the plate thus far, especially for Jack Carey, who averages about 2 innings a game, I think that might have rattled him a little bit. As Riley Luft steps up, 286 with 2 home runs, sophomore outfielder. And the Mountaineers just might claw this back as the first pitch goes in for a strike. These are the kind of games where you have to win early on. You can't let the cold set in. You can't let that ice in your veins. You got to go ahead and be hot while it is hot because the runs go slim late in the game.
And I can tell you it is not hot outside. That is for sure.
This is as warm as late. There's number 3, and he struck swinging. Counts 2-2. Absolutely, and I guess he's just kind of losing it or I guess in that moment he lost it as he's kind of been on the plate here for a hot minute. I do wonder how long High Point's going to keep him in.
We do have a pitcher starting to throw a football in the bullpen, so starting to warm up. Maybe next inning will be the last for Carey, or this will be the last, depending on how App State really attacks him.
And that pitch is fouled off for 2-2. That, or they're going to go ahead and go in a game of 7-on-7. Maybe we'll see Tom Brady out here, Fantasy, a little flag football action. You never know. High Point's become quite a multi-sport school. You never know. Maybe they'll adopt something else.
Yeah, their basketball team made the...
Yeah, there's the double play that ends the inning. Luft out at first, and Yakubi out at second. Tragedy. Yeah, it might be a long night here, folks, as App State goes once again scoreless through an inning despite 2 men on base. Folks, you're listening to 90.5 WASU. Don't go away quite yet. We got 6 more innings of baseball, unless it goes into extra innings, and maybe, just maybe, some High Point 7-on-7, some flag football. You never know.
Yeah, who knows what we're going to see, but you got to tune in and find out here for the top of the 4th on 90.5 WASU. Welcome back to 90.5 WASU as we enter the top of the fourth. High Point leads 3-1 as they are up to bat, in the first batter of the inning that Ren Watson will face as he's on the bump for the third inning straight will be Oliver Cush, who struck out in his first at-bat. Swing and a miss for the first pitch, so Watson getting ahead early on Cush.
I'm pleasantly surprised. There's your $10 term for the day. I'm pleasantly surprised at the choice to keep Ren Watson in. If he's hot, he's hot. And I guess you get to save the time from warming up somebody else.
And the breaking ball is really working as it's another swing and a miss by Cush over the breaking ball. Now it's going to be a 0-2 count to the first batter of the inning. No offer, so now it's going to go to 1-1. Or 1-2, excuse me.
Now, Cush was our enigmatic Panther earlier today with no batting average. So I guess we'll go ahead and build up an average today, won't we, Will?
If you're Cush, you definitely hope so, that you can build up that average a little bit. Pitch in there, and 2 high for ball number 2, so 2-2 count now. In his 2 at-bats so far this season, both have ended in strikeouts. Honestly, if you're Cush, you're just hoping for anything besides, and that is going to be a swing and a miss, so that is strikeout number 2 for Cush on the day.
You can hope for something else, but sometimes hopes don't come to fruition as Cush sticks with the 0.
Next up is going to be the catcher, Justin Ruiz.
Now, this was our smaller of the catchers against Sojano. Ruiz, bit on the slimmer side for a catcher, but he's pretty quick.
Sojano is the DH for today, so 2 catchers in the lineup technically for High Point, and they are both kind of struggling a little bit against this very unique release that Ren Watson has.
It's very over the top. It's very high. The ball goes from high to low. It's kind of hard to read, especially on those breaking pitches.
That's going to make it a 0-1 count now with 1 out. I believe it's 1-1, though.
Yeah, I guess the cold's getting to the scoreboard, too. We'll see what happens.
Pitch lined up over the middle. Charlie Evans is on it, and he's going to get there. The speedster in center field read it perfectly for out number 2.
Beautiful catch to keep from High Point, digging right back in that well right on top of the App State A. And I'll tell you what, that's a pretty efficient inning thus far. We're rocking with 2 outs. Not a lot of damage done yet. I'm not too scared. We'll see what happens.
Next up is going to be Frank Kelly, the leadoff man from the 9-hole, basically. And in his last at-bat, he had a single that also resulted in an RBI and then later scored. Pitch to Kelly will be first one outside for ball 1.
I like this consistency in this backing and forthing between the High Point batting order. You have very consistent batters and very new batters. At no point does the pitcher, Ren Watson, really catch that break that you want.
That ball is going to be popped up. Riley left, gets a good read, takes 1 step forward, 2 backwards, and that is going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Ren Watson, getting through the inning, or the lineup through 3 innings. And now it's going to be the Mountaineers' turn to try to put a little bit of a dent in to this 3-1 lead that High Point has when we come back for the bottom of the 4th. Welcome back to 90.5 WASU. High Point leads the Mountaineers 1-3 in the bottom of the fourth inning. And the first batter for the Mountaineers facing Jack Carey once again will be Colton Denton. Denton in his last at-bat struck out.
Yeah, I'm hoping Denton has a little bit of better understanding of how Jack Carey works. You know, he kind of had the works put on him when Jack Carey was fresh, but we've been here for a second, so we'll see what happens. And that first pitch is on the inside for a ball.
And if the Mountaineers want to get their way back into this game, working the count is going to be key.
Absolutely, especially against a finesse pitcher like Jack Carey.
As that ball is swung on and missed, it's going to make the count 1-1.
I am surprised we're seeing both teams really leave their pitchers in. Jack Carey starting for what I believe is a third inning. Ren Watson starting for what I believe was a third inning.
Swing and a miss once again by Denton. Can't really get a good read on the ball as we're getting into that weird transition zone where it is light enough out to where the field lights aren't making an impact, but it is also kind of dark out. That ball is dribbled back and into towards the High Point dugout for strike number 2. So the count's going to remain 1-2.
You can see High Point off on the sideline starting to don the coats. We can't see App State from here, but I have a feeling they might be donning the coats soon. You want to keep the hot guys in while they're hot.
That ball popped out right field, and it's going to be a great catch and run by the right fielder, and that is Lane Allen, who read that ball perfectly, got there, and retires Denton for the first out.
It's sad to see an out, but it's good to see Denton make contact, especially on a pitcher like Jack Carey. Him being so young, being able to face off against a pitcher like that, it's good indicators for the future.
Next up, the freshman phenom and Nico Soul struck out his last at-bat also, but looking to turn that around in the lefty-lefty matchup, so it's going to be difficult to try to do. First pitch to Soul. Outside and low for ball 1.
We've had a couple way outside, way low for Jack Carey. For Jack Carey tonight.
Trying to get those left-handed batters to chase those sliders and other breaking balls. Next pitch, another breaking ball, this time too high and inside. 2-0 count, 1 out.
It's always nice to see when a batter doesn't bite. Letting that count go ahead and ride up is a great way to continue the game.
So 2-0 count, 1 out. Dribbles it to the second baseman. Great grab and easy play for second base. That is going to be Kelly on the routine ground ball, and on the turf, it just makes it that much easier.
I will say, though, this is the second consecutive batter that we've seen contact from for Kelly. I do think he'll stay in for the rest of this half inning, but I do wonder what High Point has in the future for him.
Next up will be Jalen Seward. So 2 quick outs for Carey, and now he's trying to get through the inning with the breeze. The first ball popped up, and it looks like this will do it. It's going to be Johnson underneath it, and Johnson makes the catch. So very quick inning for Carey, and now that's going to lead to High Point coming back up the bat. The real interesting question is, who do the Mountaineers bring in? And you will find out when we come back after this short break. Welcome back to 90.5 WASU. High Point continues to lead the Mountaineers 3-1 in the top of the 5th inning. And the new pitcher on the mound is going to be Max Tramontana.
Tramontana's got a pretty great year thus far. 13 innings pitched with a 3.95 ERA. I think this is a good reliever to have here in the mid-game for Ren Watson. But right back on the mound, Willie Ponce. 330 batting average. Has been so destructive tonight.
The big thing with Tramontana, he has been so great. The one game that really drawed down his ERA was that one game versus Coastal Carolina where he allowed 4 runs in the top of the 9th, and it led to a Mountaineers loss. But ever since then has been perfect for the Mountaineers. Next pitch is going to be inside for ball 2. So early 2-0 count to Ponce.
Yeah, and I think, it's always hard to deal with a roster like Coastal, making the College World Series last year. They're not quite at the levels that they were last year, but they're still hot. But for that to be the running that you put against some of the best competition in the conference and then dealing with the lesser things, hopefully it goes a little bit smoother.
3-0 count now to Willie Ponce. Third time at bat, first time grounded out to the pitcher. Second time it was a single. Fourth pitch of the at-bat is in there for a strike, so 3-1 now.
We'll see how it plays out to try and keep this ball away from a batter like Ponce.
Second strike is in there low and over the middle of the plate. So, great job by Tramontana to work his way back into this at-bat. Full count now. Tramontana is going to deliver. It's going to be looped into center field. Charlie Evans cannot get to it, so it's going to be a base hit for Ponce.
And High Point goes right back into the well, just hitting the balls over that App State A, man. That's such a hard spot to guard for this Mountaineers defense. It falls right behind the shortstop, right in front of the center fielder, right behind the third baseman, and they just keep digging back in that well, especially with how weak the contact has been tonight because of the weather.
Even with Evans' speed, it's really hard to guard that center field. So much room, especially with center field, deep center being 400 feet. So Evans has a lot of ground to cover out there.
It's 400 feet plus that enormous batter's eye.
Tramontana looks over, has nothing, and he's going to be safe. The batter, Jack Clark, so far has a single and a walk. The pitch. Runner goes, throw over, and they are going to get the runner stealing, and it's going to be a strike. So 1 strike and a throw out by Seward, and Denton and App State gets the runner on base.
The stealing game finally bites the north-facing Panther in the south end. You just gave away an out there, Will.
And a free strike. So now Tramontana, ball looped into center field. This time Evans roams back. And that's a lot easier of a play for the senior center fielder, as that's going to be out number 2 in 2 plays.
Yeah, it was much easier to cover that section of the field. Evans is already so deep back there. He's able to maneuver around a lot like that.
Now it's going to be Landon Johnson. Johnson so far today has a ground out to third and then a walk. First pitch to him by Tramontana is going to be a strike.
In regards to batters in this lineup, Johnson is one of the less consistent ones you're going to get. A little lower batting average than the rest of the team, and so maybe we'll finally see this pitcher here catch a break.
Second pitch by Tramontana is good, so 0-2 count with 2 outs. Tramontana can also work multiple innings for the Mountaineers, and they're going to be looking for him to do that. Next pitch just misses outside for ball 1.
The crowd is not happy about that one, but I think it looked pretty accurate. I do think if Tramontana can keep up the kind of work that he's put up thus far this inning, I think we might be okay here as we head right into the middle of this game.
Next one is popped out and out of play over the third base light pole, so count's going to remain 1-2.
Do you want to go get that ball for you?
If only we could. Honestly, running around right now would feel really nice.
Oh my
And
gosh,
it is,
yeah.
as the temperature is starting to drastically drop here in the high country. Next pitch, Tramontana goes for the breaking ball. No offer by Johnson. 2-2 count.
Any incoming freshmen of beautiful Appalachian State University, my #1 recommendation, long johns and wool pants.
Yeah, especially during this when we have 3 false winters when it's supposed to be springtime. And Tramontana is going cold. 3-0 or 3-2 count now.
Johnson didn't seem too happy about that outside ball, shaking his head a little bit. Curious to see how he reacts to this full count.
3-2 count, 2 outs, no runners on. The pitch lined down the first base line, and it just goes out of bounds.
This is some nice psychological warfare. We've got maybe a little bit of an impatient Johnson here against a Tramontana that's trying to go ahead and dig out this last out so we can have another scoreless inning. Let's see.
3-2 count remains, 2 outs, 1 hit this inning. Runner got thrown out stealing, and that's going to be a walk for Landon Johnson. So it will put a runner back on first base.
I think you can see Tramontana, he got him to swing a little bit early, go ahead and hit that ball foul to the right field, and you're just trying to see if he'll chase that outside ball. And that plate discipline from Landon Johnson, man, that discipline from so many of these high point guys, it's just really coming through in moments like that.
Now that's going to bring up to the plate Lane Allen. First pitch to Allen's going to be outside, but it's going to catch the plate for strike 1.
That's the kind of throws I would hope to see from Tramontana and the other pitchers tonight, is things that really ride that line between inside and outside the zone, things that get these disciplined guys to swing or not swing at things they should or shouldn't swing at, the kind of things that draw those easy strikes like that. As the ball goes in for strike 2, things that draw those easy strikes that can really make you just run the outs out, go ahead and burn out High Point while they're here.
And that ball is going to be, it's a foul tip into the catcher's glove, so it's going to be a 0-2 count, 2 outs, runner on first. Tramontana has been great. That ball is going to be fouled off into the baseball graveyard, and the count's going to remain 0-2.
Lane Allen, he's really pushing for these swings now. That's the second foul ball in 2 swings. With a man on first, no scores here now in 2 innings. I'd be looking for contact too.
0-2 count to Allen. Johnson on first. That ball shot into the gap between left center, but great read by Yakubi, and Yakubi is there to retire the side. So Tramontana allows 1 hit, allows a walk, 1 man left on, and the Mountaineers are going to come back up to bat with a 2-run deficit. 3-1 is the score here on 90.5 WASU. Welcome back to 90.5 WASU. It's going to be the first batter, Jake Mumau. That's going to be trying to make a difference for the Mountaineers as they trail High Point 3-1 in the bottom of the fifth. The new pitcher for
hungry for it. He's really, really wanting that contact. These guys balls away for scores, but he's keeping that nice that nice plate discipline. Really making sure he's not swinging it so that he's not supposed to.
next pitch. Swing and a miss by Mumau. So first batter, Mateo Wells faces. He sets down via the K.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. That ball, that was right down the middle. Mumau just misses it by an inch. That's pretty close. So now we got Joseph Zamora, the ever dangerous revival hitter for this batting lineup.
And the great thing about Zamora, he can bat from both sides of the plate, so we'll see him batting from the left-handed side against the right-handed pitcher. First pitch to Zamora from Mateo Wells. It's going to be in there for a strike. Very lively fastball.
That pitch was hot, trying to take advantage of maybe a little bit of hesitation on that first pitch from Zamora.
Next pitch from Wells. Just misses the outside part of the plate, so it's going to be 1-1 now. 3 runs on 6 hits for High Point, 1 run on 2 hits for the Mountaineers. Zamora freezes on the breaking ball, and that's going to be in there for a strike. So 1-2 count now with 1 batter out. Nobody on base. Wells gives him a bouncer in the dirt. No offer. 2-2 count now.
I think Wells trying to set the pace here. Nice fastballs, nice outside balls. Really trying to go ahead and get the mind jumbled at this at-bat.
2-2 offer. Zamora shoots it down the third base side and out of bounds for strike. It's going to remain strike 2.
Zamora read that one pretty well. Swung a little late, but after dealing with so many breaking balls and off-speed pitches and on-speed pitches, it's nice to see him go ahead and make contact. It means that there's definitely some understanding there of what's coming.
Count knotted up at 2, 1 out, nobody on. Shift heavy, and swing and a miss by Zamora, but shift was heavy into that right field side. So 2 strikeouts by Mateo Wells to start the bottom of the 5th. It's going to bring us back to the top of the lineup where it's going to be Tank Yakubi. So 3 straight left-handed batters that Wells is going to have to face.
3 straight left-handed batters and 3 straight left-handed batters that bat pretty hot. We've seen a lot out of Yakubi tonight, especially in that last inning, so I'm interested to see how this goes.
First pitch to Yakubi is going to be high and out for ball number 1. Today so far, Yakubi's reached base both times with a walk and score and then a single. Second offer, that ball is going to be poked down the third base side and out of play. Count is now 1-1.
I think these batters are starting to see through the veil of that Wells scheme, trying to catch him with the off-speed pitches. And so I think so long as they're looking for that fastball, I think they're going to keep making contact because a lot of those breaking balls just get outside that strike zone.
Third pitch to Yakubi is going to be in there on the outside part of the plate for strike number 2.
2 outs, I will say. Mateo Wells has been a very efficient inning for him thus far.
14 pitches. This will be the 15th. Yakubi, no offer, high and out for ball 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, no runners on. Yakubi trying to get something started for the Mountaineers.
I think just that little tip of the scale, that little bit of heat, that little bit of fire getting ready to go, I think that will make a huge difference.
That ball poked out of play over the App State dugout, so count will remain at 2s.
I think the ashes are glowing. Well, I think we just got to go ahead and throw some wood on it.
Great battle between Wells and Yakubi. Wells with the pitch. And there's no offer by Yakubi, and he's going to go down looking. So Mateo Wells comes in and does exactly what High Point was looking for. Sets the side down via the K. So when we come back, High Point will look to carry that momentum that their pitchers are wheeling and dealing as they come up the plate with a 2-run lead. 3-2. High Point lead when we come back for the start of the 6th inning here on 90.5 WASU.
All right, folks, welcome back to 90.5 WASU here at High Point versus App State. Panthers lead 3-1 as App State brings out new pitcher Logan Tibbett from Amarillo College, junior out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And Will, I think we have to ask the question, when Logan Tibbett was at his former college, when he went home for Christmas break, did he go home Amarillo by morning?
That's a good one.
I'll be here all week, folks. Tip your waitresses as Sojun Oh comes on for the batting lineup. That one was fouled away for strike one.
Man, that fire down the first base line looks so nice right now.
And that one's in for strike two. Real quick, 2 strikes for Logan Tibbett. And we might have this inning off to a hot start. And that one's nice, low contact, just a little bouncer in the infield, and it's out for Sojun Oh. It's a pretty efficient first out, small contact, nice playing it safe. Next up in the batting lineup, number 12, Jace Kohler, the ever dangerous infielder. He's done a lot of damage tonight. I'm curious to see how a new pitcher is going to handle something like this.
Thankfully, he is the cold weather on his side, and we've not seen very much contact, or strong contact, I should say, off the bats of either side ever since that sun has went down. And these batters' hands have got to be freezing as they're swinging them.
Folks, we've dropped down 4 degrees from when I last updated you. It's currently 43 degrees outside. And a very cold, shadowy Boone evening as the pitch goes in. 2 balls, counts 2-0 with one out. Feels like right now 39 as the ball's hit on the right side and is caught out of right field for out number 2.
No hesitation by Luff there to get to that ball right off the bat immediately, and that's what he had to do. Any hesitation at all, and we're looking at probably a double, maybe a triple.
Yeah, I mean, covering that wide open area on the right side of the field is very difficult, and to see him really go get it in this cold weather is absolutely incredible. And here's pitch 1. Ball a little bit low to outfielder Oliver Cush. Here's the pitch. And that one's in for a strike low in the batter's box. As once again, Oliver Cush looking to put numbers on the batting average. We're still rocking at 0. Counts 1-1 with 2 outs. And that's a swing and a miss. Counts 1-2 with 2 outs. And this might be a really efficient inning for Logan Tibbett. Not even a man on base.
That's what you would hope for if you're the Mountaineers. Just try to get these bats up as soon as possible.
And that's in for strike 3. Oliver Cush is out. What an inning from Logan Tibbett.
Struck him out looking. Absolutely had Cush confused. And Tibbett comes up and does exactly what the Mountaineers need to try to cut into this 2-run lead.
I'll tell you what, there was a morning one morning where Tibbett was in Amarillo by morning, but now he's in Boone by night, Will.
Yeah, and he is slinging it here in Boone at night in the cold, just throwing heat in the chill, in the brisk, I guess you could say.
Yeah. All right, folks, you're listening to 90.5 WASU coming at you with baseball over the airwaves tonight. High Point Panthers lead the Appalachian State Mountaineers 3-1 as High Point goes back to the well with sophomore pitcher Mateo Wells, who had a very efficient inning last inning as he starts off against hot hitter outfielder Charlie Evans.
So fun fact for you, Noah, Charlie Evans is actually born and raised in the same hometown as me, and he went to the same high school that both my parents and aunt and uncle went to.
That's incredible. What hometown is this?
Levittown, Pennsylvania.
That's incredible. I'll tell you what, the world really is small, Will. First pitch went in for strike 1.
I think the thing that makes it a little cooler, too, is my aunt and uncle know Charlie Evans' parents pretty well because they used to hang out through high school. So it truly is a small world out here.
Maybe we want to go see them at a family reunion or something. Second pitch went in for a ball, counts 1-1. And that's slight contact right to the first baseman. Unfortunately, easy out for Charlie Evans, the Pennsylvania native we've learned. What a night it is, huh?
It's a cold one, that's for sure.
It is a chiller. It's a chiller. Next up at bat, Panthers and Ravens legend Steve Smith. Our App State's own two-way player. I'll tell you what, many more plays. Do you think he's eligible for the Heisman?
That would be really cool. Wins the College Cy Young and the Heisman.
All right, there's pitch one in for the strike. We got one out right now. The Mountaineers are really, really hoping to dig back those 2 runs, tie it right back up, and you got to do it quick. We're here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Man, I am jealous of these Appalachia people. They have these nice heavy jackets on. I could use a nice heavy jacket right now.
It's high vis, and I'm jealous. Pitch went in for ball 1. These people keep walking by with La Monarca, man. I could bathe in that hot salsa right now. Like I'm freezing. Is that a check swing? Are we considering that a check swing? No, we're not. That's ball 2. Steven Smith, a little bit of hesitation there on the swing. He decided to pull it back. Wasn't quite a check swing. Counts 2-1 with 1 out. I'll tell you what, I've talked to some photographers on the field, and both teams right now are bundled up. Sweatshirts, jackets. And here's pitch number 4. And that's strike 2. You know it's bad when the App State baseball players are bundled up too, man. That means it is cold with a capital C.
Yeah, I wore my heavy jacket expecting that to be enough, and it definitely was not.
And that's a swing and a miss for Steven Smith as we go to 2 outs. And another really efficient inning thus far for Mateo Wells. I think Mateo Wells and Logan Tibbet, we might have some excellency on the mound here, Will.
I think that it's part of the hitters, too. The hitters are starting to really struggle the colder it's getting. And so we're seeing the hitters be thrown off their game, and the pitchers are just able to use that to their will and just kind of pitch around them when they need to.
Here's outfielder Riley Luft. And I'll tell you what, you're absolutely correct, especially with the way that Mateo Wells, just like this, fastball right down the middle. He's doing this incredible off-speed work. He's really trying to catch these guys lacking, and it's so hard to stay attentive like that when it's this cold. You know, you can't wear a jacket at home plate. Here's pitch number 2, and that one's got some nice contact but has gone foul. And I tell you what, some folks at the fireplace are having a nice foul ball tonight, and boy, they look comfy.
I wish we could have a fire up here in the booth. That would be awesome. But, yeah, I mean, the hitters are really being thrown off. Luckily, since they are from App State, they do have the heated, nice thermal shirts underneath, but that still won't do anything tonight.
And that's a routine pop fly to right field. And that's caught for our 3rd out, folks. We're right on to the 7th inning. And, boy, it's been an efficient night tonight for both teams here as we get in the cold, cold world. I hope you're staying nice and warm at home, folks. Lots of love here from 90.5 WASU. I hope you're all nice and toasty, and I hope you send some of that energy back to me, huh? All right, folks, you're listening to 90.5 WASU as pitcher Logan Tibbet, Mr. George Strait himself, has his first pitch against catcher Justin Ruiz, the smaller of our two pitchers. We got big and small. It's really size inclusive the way HPU runs their batting lineup. I quite enjoy it.
And you know their hitters or their catchers can really hit when you have both of them in the lineup at the same time.
Yes. And that's another pitch in. That's pitch 2. Counts 1-1. No outs here at the top of the 7th. And, man, we really got to breeze through these Panthers. Hey, if we want to go ahead and try and get back to scoring, we got to go ahead and get rid of these guys on plate right now. And I think Logan Tibbet might be the guy to do that as pitch 3 goes in ball. Counts 2-1. Logan Tibbet, very efficient last half inning. I'm hoping we keep some of that energy in here tonight. And that was just a touch inside. Ruiz has to duck out of the way for ball 3.
Granted, it's a miss, but I like that pitch by Tibbet. Kind of backs him off the plate a little bit and now gives him open on the slider.
But Ruiz doesn't bite. That's ball 4. Ruiz walks. And, boy, them club baseball players are not happy about that call at the front. But you know what? I don't know if they'd be happy about much with these officials, huh?
Well, I mean, One thing's for certain, the officials that they have here tonight are way better than any club baseball official will ever have. So if anybody has the right to complain, they would know down there.
I guess that's true. Up is infielder Frank Kelly, who bunts it in. Yep. And it's going to be an easy on base for Ruiz. No, maybe not.
The ball went out of bounds.
Oh, the ball went out of bounds. I've mistaken, folks. See, I was playing a trick.
Just a little bit too much of an inward angle on that bunt and just gets it out of bounds. Great job by Steven Smith to just kind of help make sure it doesn't roll back in.
And we're already prepping for bunt again, but it also goes foul.
That's just a bad attempt. And I know a bad bunt attempt when I see one. When you're trying to bunt it and you have to dip the bat all the way to the ground, you should just be pulling back at that point because it just makes no sense at all that you keep that offer.
Counts 0-2, and this brings us back to conversation from way back in the first or second inning, where if you're going to go ahead and bunt, you got to commit. You can't waste those swings. And that's called ball. Counts 1-2.
Just a little high.
Just a little high. And Frank Kelly's got to be very careful with what he swings at, what he chooses not to swing at here. You know, you've wasted 2 of these strikes on bunts, and you've got a man on first, and, you know, you're looking to advance, but you might waste your opportunity here as Tibbet checks to first base, doesn't get the man out. Buying a nice little bit of time as the crowd is starting to stomp. The crowd is getting active here at Beaver Stadium tonight. Pitch, and that's in for a strike, and that's out number 1 against Frank Kelly.
And the best part is he froze Frank Kelly, no pun intended, with the breaking ball and just had no offer for it at all, and it just sits right in the middle of the plate.
Absolutely. And here we have the most dangerous man himself, Willie Ponce. I'll tell you what, this top of the High Point batting lineup is dangerous, as that ball goes in for strike 1.
Yeah, and Tibbet's done a fantastic job since he's came in to just kind of work the lineup at his own will. Granted, he does have a runner on at first in Ruiz, but that has not caused him any trouble yet.
And that was a little bit high for a ball. And absolutely, I think Logan Tibbet, especially sort of being an interesting choice for this point in the game, I think he's done an incredible job. He's managed this incredibly hot offense really well. He's handling the cold very well. He's taking advantage as another check-in is done at first base. Safe again. He's managed the cold very well. He's managed to get these guys to sort of freeze up a little bit. As I believe, no, we're down to 42. We're not yet below 40, folks. I'm below 40. I'm only 20 years old. As pitch goes in for ball number 2. And this crowd, loosened up by the pint glasses and baseball bat cups, boy, I tell you, they're real loud tonight. And that pitch is hit and is caught by center field. And that's another clean out for the Mountaineers, with Ruiz still stuck in the purgatory of first base. High Point trying to dig it out, trying to extend that lead against a really, really efficient Logan Tibbet.
If there's anywhere you don't want to hit a ball in the line drive, it's the center field to Charlie Evans, because he is just the defensive mastermind out there and able to make every perfect read on any baseball that's hit to him.
His ability thus far to really cover those deep field hits have been absolutely incredible, as the first pitch goes in for strike 1. We've had a lot of trouble right behind second base, right underneath where it says Mountaineers, but Charlie Evans and everything beyond that, nothing's gotten past him as we check in again on first base. I'll tell you what, Ruiz has gotten lots of mail at his nice little house he's built there on first base. But I mean, a guy as fast as that, you want to make sure you keep him make sure you keep him straight. Pitch goes in for ball 1, counts 1-1 with 2 outs.
Yeah, and Tibbet just needs to stay patient and work the count like he needs to get this last out of the inning to keep the Mountaineers only down 2.
Jack Clark, outfielder sophomore, fouls it out for strike 2. Clark batting .395. I will say that Logan Tibbett, he's dealt with some really hot batters, really high averages, and he's gotten past every one of them thus far, as this might be the last pitch of the half inning. No, it's fouled out again. Counts 1-2 with 2 outs. Some nice psychological warfare going on between Jack Clark and Logan Tibbett. You can see the mind. Oh, there's a car alarm going off. That's bad.
That's never a good sign.
No, it's not. Anywho, and that's ball 2. Counts 2-2 with 2 outs. We're a pitch away from closing out of the inning, or we're a pitch away from a full count. We'll see what happens. What does Logan Tibbett choose for his future to be?
The Mountaineers pitchers have done a great job at shutting down Clark, too. Only one single, a strikeout, and a flyout so far today.
The crowd is stomping, and it's hot contact, but it is caught in right field for a routine pop fly. And that's the end of the half inning, folks. Lots and lots and lots of hot, tense, scoreless baseball here on a cold, cold night in Watauga County. We'll be back with more baseball soon. All right, folks, welcome back to 90.5 WASU Sports, where we have the High Point Panthers against the App State Mountaineers. Score is currently 3-1 with Mateo Wells back on the plate, who has done so well managing the cold with these very off-speed pitches matched up with a hot fastball. And I'll tell you what, folks, I both stretched out and got nutty just now, which was quite interesting. Not seen that before.
Yeah, App State started doing that this year. It's a very unique thing where they just toss out bags of peanuts to the fans in the stands. So, I mean, you can never complain when you get free peanuts at a baseball game.
And that pitch is in for ball 1 against Colton Denton, who fouls off pitch number 2 for a strike. Colton Denton, we can see him figuring it out. You know, he did really well against Jack Carey, finally made contact there at the end of Jack Carey's stretch, and now he's in against maybe a very different pitcher, very different style, very different strategy. So it's interesting to see what the catcher has in for us tonight as the pitch goes in. And it's way high for ball number 2.
Denton just needs to stay patient. It is so cold, and he has to wait for his pitch. Any jam shot that he has or off the cap of the bat is not going to only hurt, but it's not going to go anywhere.
And that's another one foul, and that's the exact kind of pitch that you have to look out for. It's good to go ahead and stay alive. It's good to go ahead and keep the count rolling, but you don't want to waste that precious energy you have on something you're not going to capitalize on. And he's in again. Here's Mateo Wells. Here's the pitch. Another one gone foul. Counts 2-2, no outs. Colton Denton first on the lineup here at this half inning.
It's a good way to battle to force Wells to throw some more pitches to get him out of the game because Wells just has kind of had his way with this lineup so far.
It's also good to go ahead and show that you're not going to swing at those breaking balls. You will swing at fastballs, though, as the pitch goes in for strike number 3, a fastball right down the middle. It's going to go ahead and show that you're not going to fall victim to those breaking balls. You're not going to let the off-speed stuff get away from you. The things that you can hit are the things that you can see, and that most often is the thing right down the middle. As freshman sensation Nico Soul steps up to the bat.
And that was a great job by Wells, as you mentioned, trying to get on that breaking ball and then just zips the fastball by, and Denton had nothing to do with it.
That's in for strike 1. Wells goes ahead and gets the spit out. Steps back up to the plate. And I'll tell you what, the crowd is thinning out, but the folks that have stayed are the folks that are here for the long run. As that ball goes way foul right over our heads, and somebody tries to sprint out, but unfortunately there is a gate keeping you from leaving the stadium, and there is no re-entry here at baseball games, so that foul ball's for whoever chickens out first, huh? Counts 0-2. And that's a heater right down the middle for the first out. Mateo Wells so efficient in this off-speed game. The Mountaineers just can't quite crack the code yet.
First one, you get Denton swinging. The second time, you get Soul frozen. And 2 early strikeouts. He's done a great job. Not immaculate, but he's pretty darn close to it.
Baseball is built on consistency, and I tell you what, the ability to just breeze through these guys, not necessarily any concerns about, you know, guys getting on base, guys getting home runs, things like that in the cold. The ability to just stay casual through it all is absolutely incredible as the first pitch goes in for strike 1 against Jalen Seward. Pitch number 2. Ooh, Seward gets good contact, about hits Wells in the head. He is out, though, as we go into the bottom of the 7th. I do wonder if that's going to shake Wells up a little bit, nearly getting hit in the hat.
That's an interesting way to mark an out, too, because that's going to go down as a 1-6-3 out. And if you're Seward, you're just upset at this point because you do everything you need to, and the ball takes an unfortunate bounce right to the shortstop, and that results in an out. So when High Point, when it's going your way, it's really going your way. Welcome back to 90.5 WASU. Jake Beatty is now going to take the bump for the Mountaineers as he is looking to possibly just close out the game. It's a 3-1 lead for the Panthers, though. So trying to keep the Mountaineers realistically just in the game. The first batter he's going to face is Landon Johnson in the lefty-lefty matchup.
I'll tell you what, folks, it is officially see your own breath weather, which is less than ideal for me and Will here at the booth.
As our booth is outside and not in the warmth of anything. So, yeah, first pitch is going to be a ball. Second pitch is going to be outside for ball number 2.
Beatty in just 4 innings has recorded a nice 2.08 ERA. So this might be just the closer that App State needs to keep High Point at bay for 2 more innings.
Beatty. That one will be in and low for strike number 1. Beatty with a lot of velocity on his fastball. So if somebody gets jammed or gets it off the end, it is going to hurt a lot.
Beatty, the senior, has been at App State all 4 years, coming out of the high school South Point in Belmont, North Carolina.
South Point's better than High Point.
Yeah.
As that pitch is going to be in there for a ball. 3-1 count, nobody on. First batter of the inning, Landon Johnson swings and dribbles it off his foot, so it's going to make it a full count.
It's nice to see App continue to lean on this homegrown talent here, but the full count is hard to look at this late in the night.
3-2 count, no outs. On deck for the Panthers will be Lane Allen. The pitch just misses outside, and that's going to be a walk to lead off the inning.
That's a rough start to the inning. It was a great at-bat, lots of nice mental turmoil, but you do not want to start an inning this late in the game with a man on base with how good this High Point stealing game has been.
Now it's going to bring up Lane Johnson, the right-handed batter facing the left-handed pitcher in Beatty.
So, folks, we've seen Ravens and Panthers legend Steve Smith and Eagles offensive lineman Lane Johnson here tonight.
Lane Allen, first one swung on and dribbled down the third base line, so it's going to be a 0-1 count with a runner on first, no outs. Johnson takes his lead, not too large with the left-handed pitcher standing on the mound.
Batters, but with how cold it is, I would go ahead and catch these guys where they're sleeping.
Beatty delivers that one. It's going to be inside for ball number 2. So now it's 2-1 on Lane Allen. Runner on first. No outs. The delivery. Fouled back. 2-2 count now.
No choice to check in on Johnson at all in this at-bat, which I think is interesting. And very soon, one more ball and you run out of the opportunity to do that.
Johnson only has 2 attempts at stolen bases with 2 successful stolen bases. So not really a big threat on the base path, but it is always nice to keep him kind of close.
And it's good to buy yourself some time, think about things a little bit.
Swing and a miss by Lane Allen, and Jake Beatty's going to set down Allen for the first out of the inning.
Time, it seems, is actually completely unnecessary. That was a heater. Struck swinging.
Now it's going to be Sojourn O up the bat. O in his last at-bat grounded out the shortstop.
I'll tell you what, Sojourn O looks pretty warm out there. Long sleeves under the jersey. Yeah, I wish I was wearing that.
The pitch grounded to shortstop. Received by Mumau. Mumau cross for Zamora. Zamora to Seward, and that is going to be a 6-4-3 double play, and the Mountaineers are out of the inning just like that. When we come back, the Mountaineers look to try to cut into this lead. They have 6 outs remaining to try to do it. High Point leads 3-1. Welcome back to the bottom of the 8th on 90.5 WASU. High Point leads the Mountaineers 3-1, but they look to try to attack the pitcher for High Point as they are going to go to a pitching change. And for High Point,
we have junior right-handed pitcher Tyler Schaefer.
So Mateo Wells does exactly what he needs to, and now they bring in Schaefer as the setup man to try to bring High Point to winning their first game in Boone in 12 years.
Schaefer in 14 innings and 7 appearances operates with a cool 1.84 ERA.
That first ball is going to go between the legs of the catcher and be ball 1. Mumau up the bat, chops it down the first base side, and foul. 1-1 count now.
The Mountaineers right now have got to be looking for contact. They've got to be swinging hot. You don't just want on-base appearances at this point. You want big hits. You want doubles. You want triples. You want home runs out of this.
Mumau, dribbler to second base. Mumau is fast on the glove flip. Beautiful play by the second baseman. That's Kelly to Johnson, and that is going to be the first out of the inning.
Did a great job forcing that weak contact out of Mumau. And that's a rough out for the Mountaineers, who are looking for that little bit of heat, that little spark necessary for this offense late in the game.
Next up is going to be Joseph Zamora batting from the left-handed batter box. Trying to get something going for the Mountaineers, has yet to have that success today. First pitch to him is going to be low for ball 1. He is a fly out to foul territory and a strikeout today. Second pitch to Zamora is going to miss low and out for ball number 2. So Zamora early in a hitter's count.
I love watching Zamora go at bat. He's got that kind of unusual standing straight up stance, gives the bat a little wiggle, and then he takes that big step in whenever he goes to swing. I think it's quite fun to watch.
That one's low and inside for ball 3. So Zamora, let's see if he gets the green light here or if he's going to just stand in to watch this next pitch. One out, nobody on. The 3-0. It's going to be down the middle, so red light for Zamora, 3-1 count now.
This is an interesting thing to try and avoid here late in the game with a new pitcher, is you can't let these guys walk. You want to limit the App State scoring opportunities.
That ball is dribbled to the third base side, and it's going to be an error on Kohler. So Zamora is going to reach via the air. Kohler a little too confident on the bounce, and it goes right to the palm, bounces out. So App State has a little life here in the bottom of the 8th.
These are the exact kind of plays that you have to avoid. You can't let the Mountaineers get life in here because these guys will jump on you late. We saw it at Wake Forest. We've seen it in games in the past. These guys are used to the cold. You can't let the black set in on your vision. And just as we say this, Zamora gets on first base.
Next up is going to be Tank Yakubi. First pitch to Yakubi, bunted down. Great bunt received by the catcher and thrown out at first.
That'll advance the man, but Yakubi almost got fast enough to make first base on the bunt. These Mountaineers out here are shooting to kill.
So that's going to move Zamora to second base, and Charlie Evans is going to have an at-bat with the runner in scoring position for the first time today.
The fans are asking for a home run. Let's see if Evans will give it to him. No home runs yet on yet on the season.
Evans is more of that speed and base hit guy, not really that much of a home run guy. So I wouldn't expect it out of him, but a ball in the gap could easily score Zamora here. 1-0 count with 2 outs. Zamora stands on second. Evans today has a walk, a single, and a strikeout. Excuse me, a hit by pitch, a fly out, and a ground out.
Zamora on that second base there now counts 2-0. It's real dangerous keeping Zamora there. There's a chance of a steal. He's so quick, and those balls just eat up so much of your time.
Next pitch, the 2-0 is going to be in there high and just catches the corner for strike number 1. Two-one count, 2 outs, runner on second for Charlie Evans.
The crowd once again is rumbling.
Ball is
and
grounded.
it's missing the gap!
And it's misread by the second baseman, and that is going to score Zamora from second. So Charlie Evans doing what he does best and knocking in a run here at the bottom of the 8th.
Fortune favors the bold and scoring favors the fanatic, and fans have gone wild with a score and a run batted in from Charlie Evans.
That's going to bring up Stephen Smith now for the Mountaineers. Watch Charlie Evans. He is fast and can steal bases.
This is the life App State has been looking for now for 7 innings.
Stephen Smith now, 0-0 count, 2 outs, runner on first. Swing, and that ball's dribbled back, strike 1.
I don't know if I love the chase just then from Stephen Smith. I think that ball was a little bit high, but I like that willingness to make contact. I like that anger. I like that ferocity.
They're going to give the Zamora run as an unearned run due to the air of him reaching. The next pitch, outside, 1-1 count. Still remains 2 outs with Charlie Evans standing over at first after knocking in the run that now cuts it to a 1-run lead.
I think Schaefer might be floundering a little bit here in the Mountaineers. They smell blood in the water. Let's see what happens.
The pitch, outside. That hit by Charlie Evans, by the way, is the first Mountaineer hit in 5 innings. The last hit before that was Stephen Smith in the 3rd.
The fans are going crazy. Schaefer's got no peace on the mound right now.
2-1 count, 2 outs. Evans takes a good lead. The pitch. And that is going to be a swing and a miss. They're going to say he did go around, which from up here it definitely looked like it.
Smith wasn't happy about the miss, and I'm not too happy either. I think that's another example. You got to let that plate discipline ring through. But once again, fortune favors the bold. Let's see where this goes.
2s across the board now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Brief check into first base from Schaefer, and we're right back to the well here, pitching back at the mound.
Schaefer sets, high pressure situation, already allowed 1 run. The pitch to Smith. Charlie Evans goes, the ball's grounded, and it is received by Schaefer and tossed to first. So Schaefer, who was roaming that way already, gets the out and gets out of it, but the Mountaineers do get one on 1 hit and leave a man on as we head to the top of the 9th, where High Point will be looking to add to their lead. 3-2 here at Jim and Betty Smith Stadium. Welcome back to 90.5 WASU. We are now into the 9th inning, the top of the 9th, where J.J. Garcia will take the bump for the Mountaineers, and he will be facing Jace Kohler first off in this lineup. Kohler so far has a bloop double, a fly out the right field, and a line out the right field. So every bat that he has put the ball, or ball that he's put the bat to, has all gone to that right field area.
And J.J. Garcia, you know, he's gone from volunteer to Mountaineer, you know, spending last year at University of Tennessee where he didn't see any playing time at all. He's off to a shaky start this season. It's going to be really interesting to see how he handles a batter like Kohler.
First pitch to Kohler is going to be in there for strike one. So gets ahead early, 0-1 count. Kohler's a big reason why the Panthers have a three scores on the board right now, getting a double and a run in that explosive second inning that High Point has had. Since then, they've been shut down by the Mountaineers. 0-2 pitch delivery. Swing and a miss. So Kohler goes up, Kohler goes down. 3 pitches, 1 strikeout.
What a way to go ahead and put away one of High Point's more proficient, more destructive players. Very efficient at-bat there by Garcia.
Next up is going to be Nicholas Lembo. Lembo is subbing in for Oliver Cush.
Nicholas Lembo, this is his first appearance for the night. Much like Oliver Cush, he is another 0 batting average guy. He's a bit of an enigmatic figure. We've got no history on him. So let's see if history can be made tonight. Ideally, the history is another 0. But
Lembo has 5 at-bats, has knocked in a run, and has struck out 3 times. Garcia with the pitch. First one is in there for a strike. Delivery. That is lined to Zamora. Zamora comes in, receives it, gives it over to Seward. That is out number 2.
if it continues like this for the rest of the half inning, we might not have to worry about the High Point Panthers' offensive side for very much longer, which, thank goodness, because still down a run, the Mountaineers are looking for a winner.
Next up is going to be the catcher, Justin Ruiz. Ruiz today has a ground out to second that resulted in an RBI, a line out to center field, and a walk. First pitch is in there for a strike. Garcia, 0-1 count with 2 outs. The offer, and that's going to be a swing according to the first base umpire. So now 0-2 count.
Garcia 1 pitch away from a very clean, very well-cut inning here against High Point late in the game.
Garcia with the delivery. Grounded. First base side and foul. Just foul. Rolls over the orange section of first base. So it's going to keep Garcia in this at-bat. Still 0-2.
I'm intrigued to see where Ruiz and Garcia go from here, right? We've gotten contact on one of these nice fastballs, but there's only 1 pitch left. There's a lot of stakes here on this final throw.
Garcia looking for a good outing. And that pitch is going to be low. The check, no offer there. So first ball of the inning is finally thrown by Garcia. Garcia for the 1-2. Outside, ball 2. All knotted up at 2 now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here at the top of the 9th, where High Point leads the Mountaineers 3-2. Garcia's delivery, and
there's the swing.
No swing, says the first base umpire. So full count now.
No swing. Huh. I tell you what, full count's an interesting place to be right now.
Justin Ruiz, 3-2 count. The delivery by Garcia, and it's going to be fouled back into the concourse.
Garcia and Ruiz doing a nice backing and forthing after that no call, or after that called not a swing.
Once again, this at-bat has been a battle. Garcia, the pitch. That ball is basically bunted to Zamora. Zamora gets there to Saward, and that is going to be out number 3. So a very good, very clean inning by Jake Garcia. Now, the Mountaineers will have 3 more outs to try to either tie or win this game when we come back on 90.5 WASU. Welcome back to the bottom of the 9th here on 90.5 WASU, and we have a new pitcher on the mound, Dylan Story, looking to close this chapter of the game and finish the game for High Point. But he has to get through 3 stout batters for the Mountaineers. It's going to be Riley Luft, Colton Denton, and Nico Soul. The right-handed pitcher is going to have to face the right-handed bats of Denton and Luft, and then the left-handed bat of Nico Soul.
If there was a lineup to score, it'd be this one.
Aggressive approach by Luft early and fouls it off of the light post. It's the first time I've seen that one, and it comes back into play. So 0-1 count early for Luft. Story trying to finish what the rest of these High Point pitchers have been able to do. Just shut down this App State offense. That ball is in there low, but strike for 0-2 now.
Story does not seem, or I guess Story seems fired up. He's stomping on the mound. I'm very intrigued by this lineup and this delivery. It's almost it's sort of twisty. It's sort of sidewindy. It's like High Point's got their own Hideo Nomo.
And Story gets Luft swinging, so it's going to be a strikeout to start the bottom of the 9th for High Point.
I'll tell you what, Story's fired up. If he's pitching, He's pitching for the win.
We're going to get a substitute. It's not going to be Colton Denton. Instead, it's going to be Tommy Walker. The pitch to Walker popped out of play on the first base side, so it's going to be, once again, 0-1 count for Story.
Before I graduate, I'm going to go off into those forests next to the field and try and find as many baseballs as I can.
I think they do a good job of going out there and sending somebody to retrieve them after every game, unfortunately.
I don't envy that intern.
That ball is going to be in there for strike number 2, and now 0-2 count to Tommy Walker. That ball fouled and out of play. It's keeping it alive for Walker.
Mountaineers are doing a good job of making contact, but we got to make sure that contact goes forward. Something in the gap right now, and I think that might just turn the tide.
Walker coming off the bench is batting .217. The 0-2 pitch. Fouled off once again.
Lots of free souvenirs for the folks on the grass. I'm really impressed by Tommy Walker's ability to stay in on this after coming in as a substitution for the batting order.
.2 count. 5th pitch of the at-bat. Fouled once again. 3rd straight foul ball of the at-bat.
Tommy Walker giving Story very little room to operate here. He's not falling for the breaking balls. He's still hitting the fastballs.
The pitch by Story, that one's going to miss just outside. And when I'm talking just outside, I'm talking by an eyelash. So 1-2 count now on Tommy Walker. The delivery by Story. Fouled back once again. The 4th foul ball, or excuse me, the 5th foul ball of this at-bat.
Story, a High Point Christian native, is back in his hometown playing for HPU, but I will say this. This is not High Point. You're a long way from Kansas, Dorothy.
Now, Story gets it in low, ball 2. 2-2 count now to Tommy Walker. What a battle we have. Pitch number 9 on the way. The delivery. And it's going to be called strike 3 at the knees. So Tommy Walker goes down looking. Back-to-back strikeouts for Story.
Hands are on heads here in the crowd at Jim and Betty. Mountaineer fans are devastated. We've got one last great hope in freshman sensation Nico Soul. Can he save what might be a cold night for the Mountaineers? I'll tell you what, that walk-up song gets me going, man. This makes me want to dance. This is fire.
Yeah, very good beats. We're getting... We're going to get time by the home plate umpire. Probably writing down the substitution of Tommy Walker because he did not realize it. That happens more often than you would think.
He's got a blazer on. He looks snazzy tonight, the official.
Yeah, he's probably a lot warmer than we are.
Yeah, I guess so.
Nico Soul looking to give some life to this Mountaineers lineup. Versus Story. Story's first pitch going to be low and in for ball number 1. First batter of the inning that Story has not got a lead on.
There's a lot of thinking that goes in a moment like this for both the pitcher and the batter right now.
Soul grounds it. Second base. It's going to be a flip, and it's going to be in out. So Dylan Story able to have the storybook ending, and High Point will beat the Mountaineers at Boone for the first time in 12 years by a score of 3-2.
I guess the cold just was too much tonight for our Mountaineers.